I did.
Oh,
You have.
it's all good.
All right, we're recording now. Let me close this. All right. God, we're good looking. Ain't we?
We are our biggest fans, Ben. We are absolutely our biggest fans.
Well, I know I am. I haven't lost a single pound. Now you, on the other hand, you 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 look like a midget. You look like a thin midget.
All I could say is, hey, the chicken wing and beer diet is, diets come and go. I think chicken wing and beer diet is the next diet to be the next fad.
Oh, I am a trendsetter. That's that's how I feel about it. I feel like everyone's going to catch up to me, you know.
And that's a fact, my friend.
All right, welcome everybody to the Bitcoin Ben Show, and
The road to Ruta.
we 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 just love each other so much that we and plus we love each other, but we disagree on a lot, which makes for really great like conversations because there's love, but there's actual disagreement. Ooh, so weird.
No, we're family. That's what families do. We fight, we kiss and make up. We don't even fight. We're pointing in the right direction. I think both of us. We both have a different take on how this is all going to work out and when it's all going to work out. And hey, we're the only ones talking about it, Ben. This
I
specific stuff.
Yeah, and listening to your past few videos, I don't actually disagree with you. Uh, I think we're in the middle of the collapse. It's just, it's, uh, it's, it's what is that going to look like? What is a collapse going to look like? I mean, is it going to be like completely epidemic? And I think that's the word I want to use. And
Apocalyptic.
that's a better one. Good job. See, that's why I interview you. You got better words than I do. Uh, or or is is it going to be pretty bad? But are we going to manage through it relatively not not well and not easy? But I think depending on location, uh, how well prepared you are, uh, if you're poor, if this is, if you've never even contemplated any like economic shifts or anything, you're going to get your ass kicked. I completely agree with that.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think the poor and those who have struggled are used to the struggle. And I think it's the rich that are going to be the worse off if we have what I believe is going to come, which is the meltdown of the derivative bomb, because the rich it'll be a completely different world for them. The poor have struggled their whole life. They're already there. They already know what it takes to feed their family. I mean, I'm not talking about just the United States, but around the world. They know what it's like to struggle. The rich don't know what it's like to struggle at all. And so if we all get thrown into this mix and we're pretty much all in the same boat together, yeah, I think the rich are going to struggle a lot more than the poor.
I uh, I I agree with that. Like emotionally, like they, uh, has a lot of rich people have a lot of assets. They have property, you know. Now,
So they think.
right, right, and it it really kind of depends, like I said, on location that you're in or that you're at over the whole world, and what kind of legal structure you have around you. Like in America, relatively, I think that will do okay generally, because we do have a legal structure. Now, I'm talking locally, not up at the feds. That's going to just be a shitstorm.
Well,
But
I think the feds will. I mean, Fed as in Federal Reserve. Are you talking, or
no,
I think
no,
the Federal Reserve will get absorbed into the Treasury?
I completely agree with that. I think that Trump is basically going to write off all of the debt and go, look, this is illegal.
Hey,
Uh,
look who's here! Come say hi.
well, hello, good
Hi.
looking. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you feeling with your diet and everything? You feeling
Oh, it's
good?
awesome. Of course.
I
You're
know that.
next time, Ben. We're gonna get you next time.
Oh, I don't know. I will I have to like jog or anything?
No,
No,
you
not
just have to
really.
eat food that was created by nature instead of created by your chicken.
Budweiser.
Budweiser, yes.
All right, does that include chicken wings? Because I can eat chicken wings.
No,
No.
it's just 3 weeks. So no chicken wings for 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
So all your stock in Tyson Foods.
Oh God,
21 days.
21 days, and I mean, I guess I could try it.
Oh, I heard that.
Wait, no, I said guess. I guess no, you no. Actually, my wife, she asked, "So, are you going to do this diet with Bix?" And I'm like, "Woman, shut up! You didn't hear anything."
Why do you think I'm doing
Good
it?
for her. Good for her.
Right? I mean, and I know the reason because she wants me to live longer. At least that's what she says.
Or
And
fight harder.
yeah, well, she already knows I'm that's not really an issue, but it I understand the older I get that I need to like maybe kind of worry about health and
Look at the eye roll.
Me too.
I don't know, it's just I've lived so long so happily eating chicken wings and beer.
You know how much happier you'd be if you felt better every day and you had that energy and vitality. I'm telling you, you'd feel a lot better. I'm not gonna give you the sales pitch. Amy just came by to say hi.
No, that's right. Amy, you look so much better than he does.
Oh, thank
Hey,
Not saying you're ugly, Bix, but I'm just saying she's much better looking than you.
it's a high bar. It's a high bar.
Well, I'm in the same boat. Like my wife is super hot,
Yes.
and everywhere we go, she gets that look of, oh, she's so nice. Look at her marrying that.
Oh, come on.
And I just
You're like
smile and go,
Shrek. You're like Shrek.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm Shrek with a speech impediment.
Oh
So
my
it's like,
Shrek.
exactly.
I'll let
No.
you guys back at it.
All right. Say bye to
All right.
Amy.
Great to
Hi,
see
Amy.
you. Can't wait to see you in St. Louis.
Absolutely.
There you go. A brief intermission.
All right, show's over. That was the best part.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's going. I mean, she's going balls out with this the health food, the 21-day cleanse. She's got a website. We got it on the Road to Ruta website. We got. She's doing this Telegram stuff, helping people day to day. What do I eat? What do I eat?
And it's free.
And it's free.
Somebody actually doing something for the community for free.
Yes. You know, Amy absolutely loves this type of stuff, and I mean, she's been doing it her whole life, and it's got me hooked on it, and it's got I mean, there's over 200 people doing it right now, and that's 200 people who are going to feel a hell of a lot better in 21 days. And I'm not saying change your life forever. Just take a little chunk out of your life and say, okay, for 40 some odd years, I've been eating and drinking whatever I want and feeling like shit and toying with that idea of a diet. This isn't really a diet because you can eat as much as you want. It's just putting things in your system to clean it out and to add vibration and health and vitality, and you feel great. So that's my sales pitch.
That's your elevator sales pitch. Well,
Right.
I'll tell you what, when you come to St. Louis, uh, that may be the last time I eat chicken wings and beer.
No. As a matter of fact.
Wait. For 21 days.
Oh, okay.
I'll launch it on that because
you got to do it with everybody else. You need the support of a gang. We're gonna do it again.
Actually, I'm weird. I don't. Once I put it in my head, it's locked in there. I'm one of the rare people that like don't need a cheerleader.
You are the cheerleader.
Yeah, I am the cheerleader. So I will say from here that after my event in St. Louis, I will not drink or eat, or I'll actually go on your diet for 21 days.
It's a cleanse.
Okay.
Or pinky swear.
Pinky
and
swear.
I vow that I will drink beer and eat chicken wings with you the days leading up to your event, because I'll be off the cleanse by then. Pinky swear.
Pinky swear. All right, it's legal. It's legal.
God, you got big hands. Wait.
I
There you go.
They're like paws. Yeah, absolutely, brother. All right. Now the way we arranged this was we each wrote questions for each other, right?
And we didn't tell. Well, obviously this happened about 4 minutes ago. I was thinking topics or questions are fine, but I was thinking 5 different topics each. But we can.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a list of questions I wanted to ask you.
Let's do it. You can start.
I literally have like an hour and 45 minutes I can talk, so I'm good to go.
I have about an hour and 30.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Settle in, baby.
Settle in. Question number 1, Biggs.
Oh my God, you sound so official.
Well, I am. I even have my name up there. All right. How old are you? Yeah, Biggs Weir. Ooh, that's fancy.
I just turned 55 on July 4th.
All right. What would 55-year-old Biggs Weir tell 21-year-old Biggs Weir?
Stop eating chicken wings and drinking beer.
That's bad advice.
Yeah, no. I would not. No, I wouldn't change my life. I mean, I wouldn't change my life at all because I am who I am because of what I've been through and what I've done. Now, 21-year-old Bix Weir it was before I got into banking. It was about when I got into banking. But it was that I was toying with the idea of being a finance guy or a rock star, singer-songwriter. And I would tell him today, do the singer-songwriter stuff if I knew what I know now back then. How's that?
Awesome answer. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you that to see, because that's basically what how I view me is.
What were you doing at 21?
21, I was almost marrying a stripper.
There you go.
And work-wise, I think I was living up in Ohio in a hotel working on a large construction job.
All right. What would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself to not marry the stripper. Well, no, I wouldn't. I actually wouldn't, because that actually brought me my twins.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not change that. What I would say is probably plan your life generally. Don't try and nickel and dime every judgment you make, and always be honest with yourself when you know what you need to do. Just actually do it.
That very sound advice, Benjamin.
Well, thank you. I just wish 21-year-old me could hear it.
Or I would also tell myself, hey, dude, you ain't getting better looking, so Make your moves while you can.
Exactly. Well, oddly enough, I've gotten better looking. That's what's crazy.
That's kind of scary.
It's like when I was younger, I was really good looking. Now I'm like supermodel good looking. It's weird.
I'm not arguing the point.
All right. Now, all right. Let's actually get a little bit serious here, and let's. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and one of the things that is probably one of the most important are the derivatives and the issues we got going on with that. Now, my point with the derivatives and ICE, Intercontinental Exchange, and the project they're launching called Backed, uh, I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm saying they're going to try like hell to transfer as much of their ill-gotten, monies out of the old system. And I think they're eyeing cryptocurrencies because they know that's where this is all going. Now, whether or not they transfer a large amount, because in your video the other day, you said, and I agree with, only about 20% of the derivatives in the world are on exchanges because of how they're structured. And 80% are these wild ass throw everything into it complicated derivatives that nobody understands.
They don't even know how much. I mean, the 80-20 is just a number they throw against a wall as a guess.
Yeah.
I think it was 90-10.
Oh, okay.
But
Even worse.
The vast majority of derivatives being a contract between two people, and from the beginning they weren't standardized, which is a problem because every derivative is different. I mean, you can say, okay, you got to deliver this piece of gold to this site on Tuesday of this day, and unless we're going to buy a swaption and we're going to pull it on top of that and then add a few credit default swaps just in case the credit goes under, and that adds 14 different credit risks to that transaction. So that's why I halt always every time someone says, here's how we're going to fix the derivative problem. It's usually someone who doesn't understand the vast scope of derivative problem. And that was the idea. The whole idea in the late 90s when Greenspan, Robert Rubin, and Larry Summers got together and said, we cannot allow the regulation of derivatives. This was in 98, 99.
Yeah.
And there was a fight at the CFTC. And I mean, it was ugly. It went to Congress. Greenspan's thought, there's no other way to get rid of this system unless to blow it to kingdom come. So he built this derivative nightmare, knowing the banks would latch onto it because it's free money up front for the bankers. Now, they write a derivative like an insurance contract. They get paid up front. And if they're not there at the end, oh, well. We saw that with AIG. But AIG was just tiny compared to Deutsche Bank, who's at $49 trillion right now. So if anybody can explain to me how we get over that derivative bump, I would love to hear it because I'm desperate for a way out of it, but I don't think there is one.
I've looked around, and mind you, I am not a derivatives expert, but I know the structure of a lot of the corporations who deal in them, and there really is no easy way out. I agree with you on that. I think that that every single entity that has any exposure to derivatives is going to get, if not completely wiped out, damn well near it, because they
don't even need exposure. I mean, if you bank in a bank, you have exposure to derivatives.
Yeah, I mean
indirect exposure.
I guess what I'm seeing them create, and what I think might work a little, but not save. This is not saving anything. This is what I think. I'm talking purely towards cryptocurrency. Is
The
I
money
think
of the future.
right. I think that they recognize and have for a few years that cryptocurrency can absorb at least a percentage of what they have in the old system. Now,
How?
how
Yeah.
it's the first ones to sell will transfer into cryptocurrencies. Now, the question is, what percentage of those derivatives are going to have a person willing to buy it? That's
Which derivatives are you talking about, though? I mean, if we get down to, say, let's talk about $1 million worth of Bitcoin. How are you going to, explain to me the mechanism of moving some derivative that has value to someone in some situation? How is that going to get transferred over to buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin?
that would be the intercontinental exchange using uh, the project that they're launching backed, because they're linked. You know, the CEO of ICE, his wife is the CEO of actual bank.
Right. Right.
So, and with ICE, with Intercontinental Exchange, they use the New York Stock Exchange and all of these other entities around them, who, when they sell a derivative, they have an option of what they're going to put that into.
But
You
they
know,
don't sell derivatives. They're the exchange. They
no,
facilitate the sale.
they are a clearinghouse.
Right.
Their clients could say, "Hey, I want to sell these derivatives, and I want to transfer that money into cryptocurrency." Their relationship would allow that.
But it doesn't close out the derivative
No,
at
no,
all. It
right.
just
It
the
transfers
derivative's
it
still
to
there.
the next guy. Right. That's that's what I'm saying. The rich people who right now hold some of the derivatives, that's why Pact is they're launching a test. All right. Well, I'll tell you what the test is. The test is, hey, let's get our rich friends in here, create their accounts, so that when we first roll this in, those are the people who are going to sell their derivatives without telling anybody as much as possible. And it's all going to collapse. I agree with you.
Who's the buyer, though? Who would trade Bitcoin for a shitty derivative?
No, 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 no. Not trade the Bitcoin. They may trade, uh, they may sell the derivative in USD, then transfer that, because they were one of the first people to open up an account on Backed, transfer that money over into the Backed and put it in to Litecoin or Bitcoin or whichever one, and that that's how the 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 rich are going to try and move as much money as they can before this all collapses. I
I
agree.
don't see any way that can be done in high volumes, because you need a buyer for the derivative, and I mean
Well, they're
derivatives are,
trading right now.
well, they're trading, true,
Yeah.
but
Right now, there is an actual buyer.
right.
All right.
Well, at some price there is a buyer, correct?
Right.
So, but if everybody's trying to get out of that market
No. This is before that. This is before everyone's trying to get out.
before 2 months,
Yeah. Why do you think they're launching the test now?
but you
Because
do know if derivatives go off, BACT is gone, New York Stock Exchange is gone, the banks are gone.
No, yes, you may be right. That's why I think that ICE and the New York City Stock Exchange will roll up into a new cryptocurrency world. This is how they're going to move out. The old system's going to collapse. They're going to go bankrupt. They're just going to fall apart. But they've got this other entity which is actually backed, and other exchanges like Coinbase that just recently was approved to hold SEC approved or Coinbase can now offer or will be able to offer in the next few weeks cryptocurrencies that are labeled as securities.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But I mean, it all comes back to the same thing, because if the banks go down with the derivative thing, there is no Coinbase. There is no New York Stock Exchange. All those, they all have to pay rent and taxes. Yeah. Their bank accounts are gone.
No, you act like this is all just going to go and it's all gone. No. That's not how the real world works.
That's the way it's set up to blow. You cannot. Okay, what happens? What happens when a too big to fail bank fails? Why do they call it a too big to fail bank?
All right, we've had those before.
There's never been a too big to fail bank that has failed and hasn't been bailed out. So you're saying bailouts all over the place.
I'm not saying bailouts. I'm saying they're going to freeze it per like when Touche Bank crumbles. They're gonna freeze the accounts and hope that works. That's not gonna work. But this is over a period of time with tons of media manipulation. All right. So it's gonna fail. And they're gonna let that one fail. Just like they did Lehman Brothers, I think. They're gonna let that one fail. And what I think they're going to do, and now that Trump's in there, this is a little iffy, because I agree with you that I don't think Trump's going to bail out anybody.
It's not up to Trump.
Well, I mean, it's. I don't think that Trump and the Republicans are going to agree to it. All right.
I don't think. See, I think we're going to have such a gigantic loss in faith of our current rulers that they're not going to have any say at all, including crypto rulers, it's got to be organic, or that's why they set this thing up. They set up this neutron bomb of derivatives to make sure that it happens this time. They've been trying to crash this system since 1913, and it has not been big enough. From the crash of '87 to the savings and loans crisis to the .com bust to the housing bust, it has never been big enough. Now,
what makes you think this one is?
Because we are smarter. We have been educated through movies.
That's what they thought.
Well, the population didn't know anything about what was going on in the banking system prior to 2008, the vast majority. Yep. Now there's bestseller movies on it. Ask anybody, walk down the street, would you agree to a banker bailout? They're going to say, hell no. What about a too big to fail bank? That's a no way, especially not them. Well, the consequences of too big to fail banks failing are that every single financial institution fails. That's what too big to fail means. It's too big.
So, do you think that with all of the banks dropping out and completely failing, do you think that that will trigger the currencies no longer being transmitted or moved around?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, they're fractional reserve systems, so that if a bank goes down, they don't just lose, the $1 million that they had on deposit. They lose everything. They lose it all. They literally, and then they all start selling the same assets at the same time to try to stay solvent. And poof, you have a crisis like in 2008. On September 11th at 11 o'clock in the morning in 2008, Paul Kanjorski came out and said it. We were hours away from everything shutting down.
Yeah, that
And they
was
said,
scary.
what would that
That
be?
was freaky.
And what did he say? He nailed it. He said exactly what they've been avoiding. We would have a crash in the economic system, as in no more economic system. We would have a replacement of all government officials because there'd be no trust left.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to touch that. Now, if you think about it, both sides want this to happen. The banks need it to happen because of all their crimes being exposed now. Just look at all the crimes at Deutsche Bank. And then with the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, oh my God. We're talking politicians, banking executives, Hollywood moguls. I mean, it is
Everybody's in trouble.
everybody's in trouble. But so the bankers want it to happen to get rid of all their bullshit. They know they can't run this game any longer. They know that. It was always the plan to destroy the monetary system. It's just who would pull the trigger. And the good guys want to do it because they want to get these bad criminal banksters out of there. So
Yeah.
it's like both sides want it done, and all of it takes is a click of a mouse at the Treasury. So, I mean, literally, this whole system is so fragile. All it takes is a click of a mouse. The way that computers trade things these days, Exchange Stabilization Fund throws in some completely crazy trades, sell $10 trillion worth of Bitcoin on the backed exchange, poof, it's gone. Because, I mean, the whole thing is so fragile that the only way out of it is to start fresh. Greenspan called it a creative destruction event, meaning you wipe everything out so you can start again because it's so complicated. And we literally rig every single market to keep this thing afloat. We cannot sustain it. So, yeah, I think it's time.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I think the only thing that works is if they basically, or if we basically say, whatever you own right now in
Whatever
your
you possess.
hand,
Yeah.
right, whatever you possess is it. That's it.
We don't even have to say that. I mean, it comes down to, will the courts still be in session if the banksters go down? Well, half our judges are criminals too.
That's
And
true.
it's kind of like, okay, I mean, the only solution is the organic solution. Let the old system fall apart, prosecute anybody who did something wrong, and start fresh.
Yeah. Do you think that there will be? Well, if that happens, then we have the question of who is the we start out fresh. Is it the capitalist or is it the socialist?
That's a huge problem. If it's a socialist, then yeah, we don't start fresh at all. We start on a really bad note. But I think they've been proven to be idiots. So
well, they've been proven to us to be idiots, but
but there will need to be, I mean, from the Road to Rooted documents, there will need to be a reallocation of wealth in America. Let's just talk about America right now. There will have to be a reallocation of wealth so that we get, our systems up and running again. And they talked about this in the Road to Rooted documents from the very beginning. And the way they did it was really unique. And the way they did it is allocate money according to Social Security balances.
Yeah.
The new money.
I like that idea.
It is a good idea. I mean, obviously, you'd have to start everybody off at a base. And then because people have bought into the system for so long and worked so hard, they've paid more into Social Security, and some people have paid less. But you don't have your mega rich because they always cap Social Security. That was the whole idea behind Social Security when Greenspan was put in charge of fixing Social Security in the 1970s. That was his idea. And You know, people say, "Oh, Biggs, you think Greenspan's a great thing?" No, I think he's horrible. He rigged this thing so long and so hard. I don't think it was a good idea. He is almost dead. He's like 92, 93 years old. He's the problem. The problem is we were unable to deal with this problem since they found out like damn gold in the Grand Canyon. Since 1913, we've had to deal with this problem, and nobody had the balls to pull the plug. And Greenspan invented these computer programs in the 60s that just dragged it on for another 50 years, 60 years. It's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
no, he's not a hero in my book. He's part of the problem. Anybody who fails to solve the past problems and wants to kick the can down the road because it's too hard to deal with, that's part of the problem in my understanding of things.
Well, in reality, I completely agree with you. I completely, our world is so crooked, and we, and our, even if we're just in America, and we're only talking about, it's corrupt. We have a federal government that is corrupt. We have courts that are corrupt. Problem I see is all through history, we've never had an honest economic system implemented ever. Now, using cryptocurrencies, we could do that, but there's a lot of people through their free will with other people that agree with them that don't like truth. They don't like honesty. They don't want to live in an honest one for one, reality.
And they don't have to. And in a free market, people like that lose. They should have lost when in 2008. All these exchanges shouldn't even be here. They shouldn't have been bailed out. That's the beauty of a free market is let the criminals, let the lousy ideas fail, but don't bail them out. Don't. And right now, because we have regulators saying, "Oh, you're fine to go into the market," even though it's rehypothecated through the roof, that's a problem also.
It is a problem, but if you think about it, we created this. When I say we, I mean we the American people, and not you and me. We
Our grandparents.
right, and the problem is as this all collapses, we live in a country where half of the population wants free college, wants you know uh,
I
uh,
would say all of it. All of the population wants it free. Of course.
uh, well, I don't want it free
Why not?
because it doesn't. Well, I'm weird. All right. Uh, I don't want anything I didn't work for because it has no value to me. It's if I actually didn't earn it, I look at it like it's a piece of junk because I didn't earn it.
But in the United States, we've forgotten the lessons. That's the key to this crash is relearning those lessons of the past. I can explain to you 500 reasons why free college is the worst thing that can possibly happen. Especially you're making people work for free. And if you're not making people work for free, like college educators, if you're not making them work for free, they're getting paid by someone.
Yeah.
That person is creating money out of thin air and diluting the money that I earned. So yes, there's no such thing as free. Somebody's got to pay.
Yeah.
And then you look at all this free stuff and what has happened. I mean, time and time again, we look at socialist countries that have failed miserably. And we haven't learned, the United States especially, all these Democrats and even Republicans, we haven't learned. We haven't learned that, and the only way you can learn it is going through a crash like the one is coming. It is going to be the best educator in all of human history because we have forgotten the pain of the past.
I completely agree with you that I've ran into some hard times in my life, and I would not trade any of those because I learned more when I was on the floor than I ever did on my feet. And it's but people don't value pain anymore. And and actually, my grandfather would. I talk about my grandfather a lot because he's who actually taught me all this shit. You know, is w- without pain, we'd all be, you know, c- catching ourselves on fire, running into walls, you know, doing stupid shit without realizing we're hurting ourselves. You got to have the actual pain so that you learn not to do it. And what we've done is we moved away from the world, from the universe, from nature. Nature is the greatest teacher you can ever have because it will always slap the shit out of you at just the right moment that you needed to have the shit smacked out of you. And it it's now we live in a world where where people want the result without the effort. You know, I mean, I know I could lose weight and I could get healthier and I could be just massive with muscle and jog and all that, but I don't value that. I value time now. And that may not work for everybody. I literally value every single moment. I I'm a rarity though. I I don't worry if I'm going to die. I don't worry when I'm going to die. I don't worry uh, if tomorrow, if like my wife is going to cheat on me. I don't worry if tomorrow I'm going to get in a car accident. I don't worry that my cat's going to. I don't worry about anything. And th- the reason I don't is because a worry is just an illusion that you trick yourself into. That's what a worry is. You're worrying about something that you have no idea if it's going to happen or if it's not going to happen. So, worrying about anything other than what's right in front of you, you're lying to yourself. You're getting yourself worried about something that hasn't happened yet. And and I I think if people lived their lives moment by moment, telling the truth, being open with people, if 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 you meet a person and they ask you, "Do you think I'm a good person?" and you don't, you tell them, "I don't think you're a good person." You have to be honest with people so they can be honest with themselves. It's it this whole world is actually just an illusion that we live in and we take it so damn seriously, like life and death. You know, there's so many people worried about not actually dying that they never live. And that is pitiful. That is so sad to me because you you can live the longest life you want to in a jail cell and you'll live a long time probably, but you won't be happy. We were put on this earth to be happy, not be sad. No matter what happens, no matter what happens in your life, it it's why I view a funeral a whole lot friggin' different than most people. I walk into a funeral, and number one, I don't feel sorry for the person who died, because they're in a much happier place than we are now. And I don't feel sorry for anybody really, because you make your own choices, you live your own life. And even my cat, shut up, little. Uh, it's yes, we're going to go through some hard times, and cryptocurrencies are going to go up and go down and go flat, and your wife may leave you. Your kids, they may hate you for a few years, whatever. And but what people and what I hope that people get from me and my meetups is do what you love, but understand that there's no reason you shouldn't be happy. It because life is about experiences. It isn't about money, it or 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 anything you can touch and or own or anything like that. It's your interaction with other people. That's what you'll remember. You're not going to be on your friggin' deathbed and go, oh man, I'm so glad I bought that classic car. Or, oh man, I'm so glad that me and my wife went to Hawaii. Now, that it's also why I'm as happy at home as I am when I'm on vacation, because it isn't where I'm at, it's who I'm with.
Mhm.
And it it's all right. This is like moving into like a philosophy thing here, but I agree with you that we're going to go through some hard times, but I think that it's going to teach us what we need to learn.
I agree.
And and I think you're going to be in much better health than I will.
I'm going to make it through. One of the things when you went through your whole, and I love when you do that. I learned so much as you talk about you and I relate it to me. The funny thing is, on this road trip thing I just got done with 12 days, the first slide on my slide presentation was, it's not the destination, it's the journey. That is so true about so much in life. You don't learn anything by being given something. You don't learn anything at the end other than all the shit that you learned getting there. And I mean, I think I live by that motto. I try to live by that motto. Understanding it's hard when you're in the midst of a fight or a project or something to take your head out and say, hey, this is why I'm doing this. It's all this crap I'm learning about the monetary system and cryptos and the blockchain and the education that crypto people have gotten about so many different topics over the past 10 years is phenomenal. And they don't teach it in school. You can put it all together if you take the right classes, but they don't teach it. I mean, that's the amazing thing. It's this journey of life is such an amazing journey. Having said that, at some point, the journey of the past has to end and the journey of the future has to begin. And I think that's where we're coming with, I think the derivative thing will be solved, but it won't be solved keeping that type of control mechanism in place. And that's what all they are. Derivatives started as a way to hedge prices, ended up as a complete control mechanism for humanity, for our markets, for everything. So that it needs to go away. And it's not a bad thing that it's going away. It will be disruptive. We will see fortunes lost. But in order to move forward, as like you said, in truth and honesty, can it be done? It couldn't have been done. Humans aren't like that. we couldn't have done it before, but now we have this thing called the blockchain. It's a truth machine. You can't lie. You can't lie on a true blockchain. You can't lie. That's an amazing discovery, an amazing mindset going into the future. Imagine everything on the blockchain where nobody can lie anymore. You take human frailty pretty much out of the equation and say, okay, this is yours because here you are on the blockchain, and on this date it was put on blah, blah, blah. And I mean, blockchains that don't have that, I talked to Cliff about this when I was up there. I was like, he's like, I hate any blockchain that's like proof of stake. He's like, that is not a blockchain.
Right.
That is not a truth machine. Blockchains need to be truth machines because we're really not going to trust each other going forward. And we don't need to.
Proof of stake is actually based on a consensus algorithm. And consensus is human opinion. And that's bad. We want to leave
control.
Right. We want to leave human opinion out of the monetary system.
It will be demanded.
Yeah. And that's why I tell everyone the only coins that are going to have value will be the ones that are actually mined, because you have to have a creation cost. Here, let me rephrase it this way. Cryptocurrencies have to have a creation pain. They have to have the pain of actually paying for them to give them value to any human. Without any pain or labor, nothing has value. And that lines up with nature. It's like I explained in our last video.
We can't go down that same path.
Right. But truth is what we need. We have the software now where at least our economic system can be truthful. Now,
but it can be, I mean, you can inject the blockchain. Cliff was talking about this.
Oh yeah.
Into almost everything. Into you could have requirement if you're going to be a politician, your life has to be on the blockchain. And if we had all Jeffrey Epstein's transactions, we'd know everybody who did everything and gave him money. And he hasn't been run a hedge fund since 1981. Where did he get all that money?
Yeah, well,
so much of the stuff is cool.
We can also talk about that because let me say one thing, then we'll transition over to that, and that we got a lot to talk about. Is yes, everything else or a lot of other things can be put on the blockchain, but at the foundation for all of that other stuff to work, we have to get our money right. It's the only thing we all share. We all share the need for an honest currency.
At least for now, at least for the time being.
Right. Well, once we get into the woo-woo, where we're literally, I want a cheeseburger, and it creates a cheeseburger.
Press a little button, a replicator.
Right, out of electricity, then that's a whole different world. But we got to get the money right, and that's why I tell everybody, any of these cryptocurrencies that are pre-mined or proof of stake are gonna go away because.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I just don't think they'd be used as currency. I mean,
right.
Like Ethereum will be.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And now they could be used as an exchange of value if two people valued Ethereum. It's that's what cryptocurrencies allow is literally taking the equity out of anything that is represented as an actual token and allowing that equity to be traded. that's an amazing concept in itself.
I would absolutely love to know the true fair market value of a cryptocurrency today. Unfortunately, we don't know the true fair market value because of all the fake trades and all the way the exchanges are set up. But I do think the crypto people are fixing that problem with decentralized exchanges. Then, only then, will we know the true value of cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I do know of a group that are working to try and clean up the crappy exchanges. It's just um, it's hard for them to do legally. But it would be easy if they just wanted to hack them, but they don't want to do it illegally.
Hack them for what? They don't have any cryptos to
No,
hack.
no. When I say hack them, like lock up their site,
Yeah.
just completely like lock them up, and and there are groups out there that are working on that, and uh, it it's we got a lot to go. And 2018, the people that lived through that, we learned a lot in 2018 that I think we're going to be able to apply to the future uh, emotionally. Like,
We learned a hell of a lot more in 2018 than we did in 2017.
I agree with that.
That's the
I
way life
completely
goes.
agree.
It's the hard times that you learn the good lessons.
All right, now let's talk about Epstein
Yeah.
and or Epstein and all of the crap going on with him. Uh, the one thing I want people to take away from this is nobody has brought up his Ohio mansion. He has a mansion in Ohio that is the linchpin for all of this. And
Do tell, Ben. Do tell.
when I say all of this, I mean all of this. His mansion in Ohio is he had one client. You're right. He has not worked since 1981.
At least worked in finance. He's worked in other areas.
Right. He's had one client since about 1980, 89. Well, no, earlier than that, 87. Uh, and that's a guy named Wex or uh, Les Wexner.
Yeah, something like that. The
Yeah,
Victoria's Secret guy.
yeah, the Victoria's Secret guy. Uh, that guy is, they're all CIA.
I
Uh,
heard of the Mossad as well.
yes, also the Mossad. Now, the thing you have to know about the Mossad is they're kind of like the equivalent of the CIA here in America. There is a good side and there's a bad side. The Mossad um, is really bad. When they're bad, they're like really, really bad. Now, do you know who? Uh, oh, who the hell? I just lost his name. Uh, the pedophile guy. Uh,
Mark Collins Rector?
no. We're
Jeffrey
actually
Epstein?
yes, Jeffrey Epstein. Do you know who his wife is?
I thought no, he's not married to her. She was the chick Giselle, whatever her name is.
Uh,
Giselle.
no, I'm pretty sure it's his wife. Uh, her last name
She's the
is
handler, right?
yes. Her last name is actually like Maxwell.
Yeah,
Uh,
of
do
the
you
media
know?
mogul.
Do you know who? Do you know who her dad was?
Let's hear it, Ben.
Her dad was the number one uh, spy of the Mossad. back in the late 60s into the 70s and into the 80s. Her dad is who implemented all of this in the early 80s. He put her uh, uh, with, uh, ow, my brain hurts. Uh, uh,
With Epstein?
with Epstein early. She has handled him from the beginning. And this has all actually been a plot. Now, um, as you'll start hearing about the Ohio mansion soon, I think there's one person that's actually going to bring it out, and it's going to be very interesting when he does. And that's going to link with the running of weapons all over the world, uh, because of the ex-governor of Ohio, that real goofy guy who ran for
Hmm.
president. I need to write these names down.
Yeah, I don't.
But this is all going to lead to a couple of big reveals. All right. So Epstein was a pilot, right? He trained people how to fly. What's going to be revealed here, I think, and it's going to be the big reveal of all the reveals, who trained the 9/11
Hmm.
pilots in Florida?
Was
What
it
was
Epstein's company?
what was the name of the company that
Yeah,
trained?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it either, but I'm pretty sure that he trained the 9/11 pilots in Florida in 2000. And when that comes out, because that ties with everything, that wraps, as soon as that comes out, after everything else comes out, is when the shit's going to really hit the fan. Because
When do you
the
think it'll happen?
I think that knowledge uh, of him actually being involved in 9/11, I think that will come out in probably right after next year's election.
Hmm.
Because what's going on now is Trump and the good guys, they have to slowly expose the American people to this. Because if they just all of a sudden hit them on the head that half of the politicians in Washington, if not more, are blackmailed criminal pedophile, rapist, and some worse,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be a bad situation. So I I think they're gonna roll this out, and I think they're going to have to convince, and I think they have on quite a few of them already. You leave office, and we'll eventually arrest you, but it won't be catastrophic to your family. I
A lot have left or are leaving.
Yeah, and I think that John McCain was one of the worst of the worst,
Oh, I think
and they
he was executed along with Bush Senior, I believe.
yeah, I don't know if they were executed or if they were giving the option to take the old cyanide pill. You know, I hope they were executed
Oh,
myself. I hope they videotape it. I'd pay for paper. I would pay per view for that. Bunch of criminals.
yes.
So
Speaking of
what are
criminals,
your views?
yeah, I follow it, not much. I've known about it for a long time. It more interests me on the crypto side. There's a lot of pedo crypto guys out there that I would love to see end up in jail, but that might cause more chaos in the crypto world. So I keep an eye on it. I keep an eye on it, but I think Trump's got that under control, and yeah, I agree that. See, the problem with slowly rolling this stuff out is what has happened over the last 100 years. You get somebody in power, he's slowly rolling it out, and it doesn't go fast enough, and all of a sudden somebody else is in power, or they figure out a way around it, assassination or whatever. So there's risk in waiting, and humanity cannot wait anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think as long as we're alive, as in like you and me, or I'll just use like myself as an example. Like I'll never view it as a collapse as long as I'm alive because it's always moving forward. Oh, although
I would have to say Cliff is in 100% agreement with you, Ben. When I talked to Cliff the other day, I went up there and we had this 3-hour long conversation. And the last part we talked about cryptos, and I'm like, "Come on, there's got to be a collapse." He's like, "No, there isn't. There's a lot of changing structures but at the same time, he says, but the cryptos take over because you don't have to trust anything within the cryptos. All the trust is going to go away from these bad guys as they fade off into the night." But I don't see how. I really don't how they could happen without destroying the derivatives.
well, it's the the reason that you don't see how, and I don't know how, is because we live in a world with billions of people, and they're all moving together. Oh, a collapse will only look like a collapse if the media makes it look like a collapse. If they,
Or if you lose all your money.
well, yeah, but that's only a collapse to you.
Right. And everybody in the US. But there's 7 billion people in the world.
Right. And the US dollar in America, uh, I don't see it collapsing away. I see it devaluing very quickly.
But see that can't happen because it's devaluing against other fiat currencies. I mean, they can all devalue
Yeah,
against gold and crypto and silver type of thing.
yeah, that's what I'm actually talking about. It uh, People who I've actually talked to, like, boy, that Bitcoin thing's really gained value. And I say, no, the U.S. dollar has lost a lot of credibility. That's what's going on. It isn't that people go, oh, look at this Bitcoin. It has altered itself so much that now it's more valuable. No, no, there's no value added to actual Bitcoin. What it is it's absorbing all of the bad friggin' money, the uh, the the money that people don't need to survive and live their life the way it's the excess money. That's what we're absorbing right now, is the excess money, the overprinting money that has trickled down to us smaller guys who are happy with a house this size, happy with a Jeep, happy with that. The extra money we have is what we're putting in cryptos. Now, the rich people are now creating the system where their excess money that they don't know where to put is now going to be pushed into cryptos just like we did. Like it's everything revolves around human nature, and the money that Bitcoin absorbs is the excess money from humans that don't have anything else they want to buy with that money.
Hmm.
It's I think I'll buy Bitcoin because I think it'll go up. Or they could have said, I think I'll buy this truck because I want this truck. It's it's like it's the excess money in the lower level cryptocurrency community that it's absorbed so far. Now we're getting up to the corporate level where
But the problem is they're gonna the big money is gonna be going into these criminal derivative exchanges like Backed. Backed is a derivative exchange. So all that money that it could have flown into the real thing is going to be flowing into Backed, which is a derivative exchange.
No. That is not how Pact is structured.
We went through this last time. It is a derivative.
No, it's a derivative triggered by the existence of the coin inside the software.
But you got to trust it. You got to trust that coin is there. And, no, it's no different than the COMEX with silver and gold, where we got. I mean, we finally ended with this same argument, and I said, okay, when it opens up, let's look at the volumes. We'll know instantly. We'll know instantly if it's a real Bitcoin exchange. Real Bitcoin exchange, I would expect volumes of 10 or 15,000 Bitcoin to trade every day. If it's a con, you're going to see volumes of 500,000, a million Bitcoin trading every day.
I completely. Let's hold this conversation until after they launch, and we can actually track it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
proof is in the pudding.
Pudding. I love pudding. My wife actually made some damn good.
Don't talk about food right now. All I can do is freaking vegetables and.
She made some banana pudding with wafers, and you wonder why I'm fat? Because the woman keeps feeding me. Now, there's a lot going on. Oh, what are your thoughts on Trump going after like Google and YouTube?
Yes, finally.
Do you think it's actually going to happen, or do you think that they're going to wiggle their sorry asses out of it?
Well, I think it's going to happen along with everything else because it's all interconnected. The Mueller fiasco today when it was clear Mueller didn't even know what the hell the report said. And everybody's like, what do you mean? How could you not know what the Steele dossier was? How could you not know that Nellie Orr was working for Fusion GPS? And it's like the Democrats just basically put the nail in the coffin. They're never going to talk about the Trump collusion with Russia ever again, except they're now investigating them. So absolutely, but it's all interlinked and with Jeffrey Epstein, because these guys are all in with Jeffrey Epstein and the executives at Google. And, we already had was it the Google guy who's gone now? He left right away. These are all interconnected with the Blythe Masters at JP Morgan.
Oh, the love of your life, Blythe Masters.
I am declaring victory already on that biatch.
Yeah.
Basically, silver's starting to run. I think silver won't stop running. We got a JP Morgan trader who is turning state evidence against his boss, who is Blythe Masters, and he gets sentenced in December, right? I think right after the coming chaos.
Yep.
Blythe will be in jail with Jamie Dimon, but they're all interconnected. And then you go to the founder of YouTube, this guy Mark Collins Rector, pedophile from the 90s. All of them are interconnected, and they're all getting ripped apart. So the timing of the DOJ investigation into Google and Amazon and all these, I mean, this is part of the...
Let's not forget Tether.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that'll go down with the whole gang.
I don't know why anybody deals with Tether. It just blows my mind that anybody would be like, you know what? I'm going to trade into Tether.
But see, they aren't. It's all phantom trades. It's
yeah.
It's a con. It's a confidence con that is falling apart fast. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, all we know is it's going to be interesting. Folks, get ready. The shit's about to hit the fan.
And we're in the right place. If you hold your cryptos in your own possession, if
yes.
you hold gold or silver in your own possession, there's nothing else you can do on the monetary side. Now
Yep.
You're going to need some food and water and a gang of neighbors to survive this thing, I think, if it goes down the way I think it's going to go down. But having said that, if we can get rid of all these criminals that have controlled us for so long, we have the ability for the first time in history to move forward with a sound system, not based on human beings, not based on regulators, but based on math. As long as 2 + 2 = 4, we can believe in the blockchain. As long as it's done properly and openly, it's immutable and all the good things that make a blockchain, we have the potential to move forward. And I think we will. I have no doubt that nothing but good stuff lies ahead of this bump in the road.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's going to be one hell of a bump. But everyone other than that, I think that me and Mr. Bix Weir, we got some serious man love going on. You know?
Hey, you can't talk about that in the same video where we talk about Epstein and things.
Oh, that's true. That's true. We don't want those rumors getting out.
But I agree.
All right, let's actually talk about a happier topic, which is our meetup coming up on August 17th.
And I will be drinking. I'll be drinking beer and eating chicken wings because I planned it to be like 4 days after this damn cleanse is over, so it's perfect.
Awesome. Yes, everybody watching this. It will be me. It will be Bix Weir playing live his hits, the greatest hits of Bix, and Litecoin Lisa, a ton of awesome people coming to St. Louis. Check out my website, www.bitcoinben.io or roadtoruda.com. And do you have like the location and all that on your website, or is it not on there?
It's all on you.
Okay.
It's on you. I send everybody to your website.
There we go. Check out my website. It's on there. And please, this is a charity event, and there's going to be a lot of people there because I'm actually going on local radio, and I'm going to be advertising the event locally. So there will be a lot of people that don't know anything about cryptocurrencies there. And they're going to walk up to you and go, oh, what is this Bitcoin? I've heard about it. So I need you guys to show up. Oh, and it's free. You know, there's like no ticket. There's now the food and the beer and all that, that's extra. That's up to you, you know, whatever. But it's educating the people that need to be educated, which is everybody that doesn't know about Bitcoin and blockchain. Oh, I need you guys, the community, the troops, come to St. Louis. It's beautiful here. It's warm, but it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And just show up, listen to music. If you've never been to one of my meetups, It is. It will change your view on on life, because you'll finally meet the people that you talk with on Twitter, or if you're in a chat room here, you'll finally meet those people, and they're all the most generous and just honest and good-hearted people you'd ever want to meet. And it will give you the energy to trust that everything's going to be okay. Would you agree, Vix?
Absolutely, well said. And I just had a show up in Spokane, had about 120 people show. The coolest people. It was awesome. Some of them didn't know what a cryptocurrency was. Most did. And David Morgan was there talking about. He brought all the veterans on stage, gave them all silver
Wow.
dollars. It was really, I mean, the community around Ben and the Road to Ruta people and all our friends. It is a group community. The Litecoin community, you can't beat it. And it absolutely, absolutely. And it takes a community of good people to change what is bad. And we will always win. We will always win because we have right on our side and we have truth and honesty on our side. We will always win no matter what. It might take a while, but we are going to win. And my goal by the time the Litecoin Summit comes is to turn my friend Dick Allgaier from the dark passages that he walks in to say we do have a chance to change the world, and if not us, then who? So we got to fight for this as hard as we can, and so many people are running around the world spreading the word of cryptos, spreading the word of the conspiracy to rig markets, and the more it's exposed, the better off we are. Do you know if John Kim's still going to be in Asia? Can we get him to come out to?
He is in LA right now. I'm going to see if I can fly his beautiful Oriental person here.
Are you even allowed to say that anymore? I don't even know what you're allowed to say anymore.
Oh, he makes fun of it. See, that's what I love about him. He makes fun of me because I'm white, and I make fun of him because he's Asian, and we can do that because we're buddies.
Absolutely.
That's
He's an amazing house guest too. He stayed with me and Amy. Oh my God, he is so motivational. It's incredible. He should be like
cook.
He can cook. Although we were on that damn diet back then too.
I'll see. Hell with that. Come to my house, John Kim. I'll let you cook up whatever the hell you want.
And I'll eat it.
And I'll eat it. Exactly. All right, guys. Yeah, I do want to try and get John in here for that. I don't know what he's doing. He's always doing something.
He's a busy man, but hey, for us, he'll make the time.
Yep. All right, everyone. This has been Bitcoin Ben and
Weir.
Yep. And check him out on friggin' Patreon. Check him out. He releases the good stuff on the Patreon, and
the stuff that doesn't get banned by YouTube. I put my my revenue for the last year up on
I saw that.
It's like boom, straight down. that is, and all the guys who are used to be making money on YouTube are the same. Sean's just getting beat up like you wouldn't believe these days.
Oh, Sean is getting killed. That poor guy.
Report.
Yes. In fact, join his friggin' Patreon too. That poor guy.
And Bitcoin Ben's Patreon. Help fund the revolution.
Viva Revolution. It's you know, I don't worry about that. I advertise it and I ask like people to join, but I have faith that I will have what I need when I need it.
It's called the Wheel of Abundance.
Exactly.
It's true. And what you have to give is so valuable. The abundance is going to flow your way, and
I'll just give it right back.
Or in the form of love by all these people who love you. that's what we're digging on these days. Is you literally, then there's something about you. You attract people. You're such an amazing people person, especially. And I've seen you live individually, and you hug a hell of a lot more people than I hug. I don't want to hug some people. I have a little more fight in me. I mean, you, not you.
I am a huge hugger.
You are, and you're genuine and true. And if you, hey, here's your advertisement. If you want to see Bitcoin Ben, a huge truck driver, start crying, come to the St. Louis meetup. I guarantee you, he'll have 3 or 4 bouts of bawling his ass off.
I guarantee it. All right, everyone, have a great evening and love yourself. Love crypto. Love you, Bix.
Peace.
All right, bye-bye, guys. All right, how do I stop this? Oh, there we go.